Welcome back. As Russian troops prepare a mega assault on Kyiv, its suburbs have been witnessing massive destruction. Take a look. The Hostomel region has been badly hit by Russian airstrikes. Multiple residential buildings caught fire after back-to-back missile attacks. The visuals in the screens are of the building where fire raged on for hours. Bucha, a town near Kyiv, has turned into a ghost town after repeated shelling and has reduced the residential buildings to debris. The people who were stranded are now on their way out of the town, smoke bellowing out of vehicles and dilapidated buildings. Meanwhile, 13 days of Russian invasion has turned Ukraine into a war-torn country. It is also a country that stands defiant against all odds and fighting back. Diplomatic, legal ways and on ground. Citizens have picked up the gun to defend their cities that are under shelling and siege. Ukraine is fighting for what it had and what it could be.
Zaporizhzhia is a city in southeastern Ukraine on the banks of the Dnieper River. As per 2021, the city had a population of 722,713. It is also the site of Ukraine's largest nuclear power plant, now captured by Russian forces. Close to 2 weeks of Russian invasion has forced the inhabitants of the city to flee the war and destruction for safety. But Yulia couldn't. She had to stay back to take care of her ailing mother. But she sent her 11-year-old son on a 1,000-kilometer journey on his own to Slovakia.
My name is Yulia Volodymyrivna Pisichka. I want to express my sincere gratitude to all the Slovak customs officers and the volunteers in Slovakia who cared for my son. They helped him to cross the border on his own.
Zaporizhzhia Oblast, or the district, is known for its heavy industry. But with the Russian invasion, the city and the district now wears the look of a war zone. Kharkiv, in the northeast of Ukraine, was the first capital of the Soviet Socialist Republic of Ukraine. In January 1934, the capital was relocated to Kyiv. During World War II, 4 battles took place for control of Kharkiv. Nearly 1/3 of Kharkiv's population became slave workers for Germans, while 30,000 were executed and nearly 100,000 people starved to death during the Nazi occupation of World War II. Post-war, Kharkiv was rebuilt in the architectural style of Stalinist classicism. In the next 3 decades, Kharkiv became the 3rd largest scientific and industrial center of the former USSR. In independent Ukraine, Kharkiv became the 2nd largest city after Kyiv. Russian tanks and shelling has left deep scars all across the city. India has called for a ceasefire in Kharkiv for the time being. On the Dnieper River, the capital city of Ukraine, with a population of 2,962,118, woke up in disbelief to the sound of sirens on 24th of February. This 7th most populous city in Europe has been waiting for Russians since that day. Now the bustling cities of Kyiv are empty. Air raid sirens have become a daily routine. Sirens sound day and night. The atmosphere is tense, and Ukrainian soldiers steer locals away from possible sites of conflict. Civilians started to leave the city, but some stayed back to defend their lives and the city that they loved. Closer to Kyiv airport, Antonov was captured by Russian troops, as was Kherson city in the south. Cities like Mykolaiv, Irpin, Chernihiv and Vinnytsia have faced the wrath of Russian shelling.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу президента тут.
Good evening, everyone. Everyone from the Ukrainian leadership is here. Our troops are here. Citizens are here. All of us here are protecting the independence of our nation. Glory to our defenders. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes.
Нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисницям. Слава Україні!
Ми не пробачимо розстріли.
We will not forgive the shootings of unarmed people, the destruction of our infrastructure. We won't forgive hundreds and hundreds of victims, thousands and thousands of sufferings. And God won't forgive, not today, not tomorrow, never.
Ні завтра, ніколи.
But the war carries on.
Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, hundreds of children, ranging from toddlers to teenagers, have fled Ukrainian orphanages and crossed into Poland. They are being housed in makeshift dormitories where they await their uncertain future.
They are among the youngest forced to flee in what the United Nations calls the worst humanitarian crisis in Europe since World War II. More than 200 children evacuated an orphanage in southeastern Ukraine over the weekend as Russian troops attacked a nearby nuclear power plant. The children, ranging from toddlers to teenagers, arrived in the western city of Lviv after a 24-hour train ride with orphanage staffers, including a very emotional director.
My heart is being torn apart. I'm sorry, it is tough. When families are separated, it is very hard. I'm sorry, I simply lack the words, and I feel so sorry for these children. They are so young. I don't understand why the Russian people cannot believe that we are being bombarded, that we and our children are being killed.
As night fell and the temperature plunged, the children waited patiently on the platform at Lviv, none of them crying or complaining. 16-year-old Vladimir Kovtun said he finally felt safe.
It is terrifying to stay in Zaporizhia when the air raid sirens are going off and we must constantly hide in the basement.
As snow began to fall, they boarded buses bound for their new home in neighboring Poland, where dozens of other orphans from Kyiv, Odessa, and Kharkiv are already being housed in places such as the Osa Hotel in Warsaw, which has been repurposed for refugees. Conference rooms were turned into makeshift dormitories for around 700 children who can stay as long as they need help, a hotel executive said. One woman overseeing the children said she was being barraged with questions from them about when the situation will end, adding, quote, "They are afraid and we are afraid. We don't have any answers for them. We don't know what will happen tomorrow, what will happen in an hour." As of Sunday, the civilian death toll since Moscow launched its invasion of Ukraine on February 24th stood at 364, including more than 20 children, according to the United Nations, with hundreds more injured.
Thousands of women and children, many weeping and numb with exhaustion, have started arriving in Lviv. This comes after Russian forces intensified their attacks on eastern cities of Ukraine. The state railway has put on more trains to rescue people from non-stop bombing of Russia. Meanwhile, 21-year-old Tamil Nadu student joined the Ukraine paramilitary forces to fight Russia. Senikesh Ravichandran was studying in National Aerospace University in Kharkiv to become an aerospace engineer. As Ukraine came under attack, Senikesh's family lost communication with him. After the embassy's assistance, his family found out that Senikesh has joined Ukraine forces to fight Russian advances. India today spoke to him when he was undergoing combat training at the Georgia National Legion camp in Kyiv.
This young man here, Sai, is from Tamil Nadu in India. He's otherwise studying to be an aerospace engineer. And let's talk to Sai. Sai, that's a very interesting insignia that I see here. We see the Ukrainian flag, we see the Georgian flag, and you're actually an Indian here in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I see this dummy weapon in your hand, an AK-47 assault rifle dummy. You came here to study aerospace engineering. What are you studying right now?
I'm studying aerospace engineering in Kharkiv. Yeah, that's it.
But you're also studying the art of war.
Yeah.
You've joined a legion.
Yes, I am 3 days ago.
3 days ago, you joined a legion to fight for Ukraine.
Yes, I am.
What kind of training are you undergoing, Sai?
Basic tactical stuff, survival and basic medic things. That's it.
So, will this impact your aerospace engineering?
If that depends on Russia. If they invade, yes.
Okay. So, as an Indian, what made you fight here in Ukraine?
I wanted to be in the army for a long time. Then situation, I came here, gone to university. Now I have many friends here. Further, I have many friends, local friends, families, and yeah, that's why.
Meanwhile, Leonardo DiCaprio, who is also happens to have a Ukrainian root through his maternal grandmother, has donated $10 million to the Ukrainian government, while renowned British author J.K. Rowling too has promised to make a significant donation through an NGO. Several celebrities and brands are extending support to the war-torn country.
Amidst the ongoing Ukraine crisis, and with Russia invading and capturing city after city in Ukraine, President Zelensky approached the global community and world leaders for both financial and military help.
We're raising funds to support a relief effort that will have immediate impact and supply much-needed refugee and humanitarian aid to the area. The principal challenge right now is logistics. We need to get housing and we need to get supplies and resources into the area.
With that, viewers, it's a wrap on this edition of News. Do stay tuned. The updates on Ukraine continues with my colleague Shivaru on the other side.